It's not raining anymore in Chennai for now, but the city is still reeling under the aftermath of 3 days of heavy rain. Even as the Indian Met Department withdrew its rain red alert for Chennai, much of the city remains flooded. While no fresh showers were reported in the city today, parts of the city are still very much underwater, with residents wading through knee-deep, sometimes waist-deep water. Our crew on the ground gets you this compelling report.
I'm standing in the Alvarpet area of Chennai, and you can see around me the kind of deluge. You know, it's a day after the rainfall and nobody would believe it, because look at the amount of water around me. And this isn't just one part of Alvarpet. Almost every single lane of Alvarpet looks like this. The water levels are only going up in some parts of Alvarpet because efforts being taken by the administration right now, even to clear it, hasn't been helping.
India Today, getting you the grim picture a day after flood fury in Chennai. A drone view of the aftermath straight from heart of the city. The rain red alert may have been withdrawn by the IMD, but the situation on the ground is far from normal.
I'm standing in T Nagar in Chennai. This is in North Chennai and it's one of the worst affected parts of the city, because 24 hours since the rain, you're still seeing the remnants of the deluge. There's water in many homes at this point. They're trying very hard to pump it out. But for authorities too, this is a challenge. These are the usual victims of flooding, of inundation, but this time perhaps worse than ever before.
Most of the city flooded. People wading through knee-deep water and hours of power blackouts in several areas. While no fresh rains were reported in Chennai, roads remain underwater. While officials work round the clock to pump water out, the before and after of the Chennai rains paints a worrisome picture.
We're now travelling on a tractor into the deeper areas of Perungalathur. To walk through this region, it will be very difficult because there is water above hip level, is what the residents have been telling us. In this particular place, the building has been raised up, and because of that, they have not been affected. But all those buildings which have been here for quite some time, we can see that water has seeped into the houses here. Most of the people have been saying that this is much worse than 2015.
KK Nagar and Kolathur are among areas worst hit.
I'm standing in KK Nagar in Chennai, where it's a traffic nightmare currently. You can see around me that most of the roads here, and this is one of the key roads of KK Nagar, it's completely waterlogged. Efforts are on to pump out the water at the earliest, but because of that and the fact that, right now it's rush hour, you're seeing a lot of traffic out here and a lot of vehicles that are moving on both sides of the road, trying to avoid the waterlogged areas.
We are standing right here, which is next to the Narayanapuram lake. This is the Perungalathur region. And what we have to note is that there are 14 tanks here from which water is drained into the Narayanapuram lake and further to the Pallikarnai marshland. But what really happens here is that the Narayanapuram lake does not have the capacity to hold the water that is coming from excess from the neighbouring lakes.
While the orange alert in Tamil Nadu has been withdrawn, the IMD has predicted heavy rains for parts of Chennai and southern parts of the state. In Salem, a 5-year-old boy was tragically killed in a building collapse due to heavy rain. While public deals with fury of nature, politicians are busy with photo ops and bickering. VK Sasikala, who's desperately trying to make inroads in Tamil Nadu politics, was seen distributing relief material in T Nagar. This as actor-turned-politician Kamal Hassan pointed fingers at government's inefficiencies.
இது வருடம் நடக்கிறது என்பதை தெரிந்து கொண்டும் ஒவ்வொரு வருடமும் இதை எதிர்பாராத ஒரு பேரிடர் மாதிரி பருவமழையை பேரிடராக மாற்றுவது நம்முடைய கவனக்குறைவு என்றுதான் சொல்ல முடியும். நம்முடைய நான் சொல்லும்போது அப்ப எந்த அரசு மேலேயும் தப்பு இல்லையானா அரசு மேல தப்பு இருக்கு.
The Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, meanwhile, was busy felicitating the Singham cop who rescued a 28-year-old man from a cemetery yesterday.
This is the aftermath of the deluge, the rainfall that we witnessed in Chennai on Thursday. You still have a lot of water, a lot of waste, and essentially a mess across the city of Chennai. And for us to really overcome the kind of torrential downpour that we saw in 24 hours, it's going to take days really for the water to drain off and for the administration to ensure everything is back to normal in the city of Chennai. With Akshay Nath, Pramod Madhav and Nolan Pinto and camera persons Shivamurthy, Daniel and Madhu, this is Akshita Nandagopal reporting from Chennai for India Today.
Let's go across and get a quick ground report and a status check from India Today's Akshay Nath, who's live with us from the city. Akshay, what's the status? Some promising images. The water appears to have been receded in many places, including where you are. But there is still a lot of waterlogging in the city. But there's no rain as of now. What's the forecast that Chennaiites should know about?
Well, Shiv, as far as the forecast is concerned, it's a green signal that's been given by the IMD currently, which means there will not be rains or heavy rains like what we have seen in the last 1 week. But at the place that we're currently standing at, which is Varadarajapuram, it is a very, very bad sight. My camera person Daniel will now currently show you how most of the residential houses look here. All these buildings will look like an independent island surrounded by water on all the four sides. Most of these buildings are high-rise, which is people in this area had known about the inundation that happens in and around this area, because of which they've increased the level of the house. But what happens, Shiv, is that they get stagnated in those particular locations because the roads are completely inundated. You don't even know where the roads are and where the slush is. It's completely a very, very difficult period for people here. You can see the water has literally get stagnated here. There are fire and rescue officials who have come here and they are using boats to help people go in and out of the area till the water gets drained. We are being told that the level of water was much higher, and slowly but steadily the water is getting drained out. You can see how a car is in a puddle of water right now also. So these are the kind of images that we're seeing in most part of Chennai city. Yes, thankfully in several parts water is receding, but at the same time in various other locations from where we have been reporting all through the day, we're seeing hip deep, chest deep water still stagnated. And the big question that they're asking the government is how many more years should they wait before a proper drain system is brought into place? When will Chennai and Chennaiites have a solution to the localized flooding that happens?
Right.
Most of these buildings are built after approval from the government. So why give approval for buildings in locations which will get inundated?
The situation isn't completely normalized just yet. As you can see, people are still battling knee-deep to waist-deep water in many of those places. Many of those residential low-lying areas also in a lot of trouble. So, Akshaya, thank you very much for getting us the latest. As you can see, those images will continue to come in. Our reporters have been bringing you images like these all through the last 48 hours. Take a look at what they encountered on the streets of Chennai.
We're at Puliantop, one of the parts in northern Chennai which is very badly hit because of the rain, and there you could see inside this residential area more than knee deep of water is there, and these people did not receive any kind of help for nearly 4 days. This is what they are saying, and not just that, the drainage this part has mixed with the water and this whole part is filled with potholes, and thankfully NGOs have reached a spot and they are trying to provide food and other materials. For one family they are providing one package which has rice, dal, essential oils, cooking oil, like vegetables, dried vegetables, and also they are providing them with bed sheet and various other sanitary items that is required to survive. This is one part in Puliantop. So this whole place is completely inundated. In certain areas, this is actually, the place is nearly up to their chest. Water is there, and children are the most badly hit. In fact, people are trying to carry children to various locations in this way to keep them safe, because in various areas, sewage water has also mixed up here, and that's the biggest struggle at this point. People are very badly hit here, and they claim officials have not yet come to this spot. The biggest issue they want is this water to be cleared. There are like poles and everywhere, no power for 5 days. They are struggling very badly. And look at this water completely up to the knee level, and they are struggling. They need relief one way or the other, and that is what they're looking from the government. With videos Madhu, Pramod Madhav for India Today.
We are going to bring you a bird's eye view of a place called Varadarajapuram, and what we can see here is only water on all sides. view that is being shown to you right now is of a road, but everything is underwater. All the sublanes around this region have been inundated. No visuals of where to keep your next step. That's how difficult things are here. We can see here the fire and rescue teams have been deployed. There are multiple teams which have come here, all of them taking boats and moving inwards deeper into the area to rescue people who have been stuck. Many people are standing on top of the terrace. You can see even here 2 ladies along with a child standing and looking at the condition outside. Most of the houses have been raised high because in the previous year they have had similar issues of flooding and inundation, and taking that into consideration, many people have raised their houses. So water in several houses have not seeped in but is stagnated around it, making it like an island. For normalcy to return in places like this, it will take at least 2 to 3 days, and for that period they're hoping that there will not be any more rains and things may be a little calmer so that their livelihoods can come back to normalcy. With camera person Daniel from Varadarajapuram, this is Akshay Nath for India Today.